Good evening and welcome everyone. Tonight's subject is the United States Senate. More specifically, the apportionment of U.S. senators. Please join me in welcoming to this discussion my guest, Professor of Government at Austin Community College, Miss Celeste Rios.
Thank you, Tom. It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, Professor, every state has 2 senators. Please tell us why that is.
It's actually very simple. Article 1, Section 3 of the Constitution stipulates that each state shall have 2 senators.
That was the result of the Connecticut, or Great Compromise, correct?
Absolutely.
Or, as I like to call it, the not-so-great compromise.
Some of the founders felt the same way. James Madison certainly did.
That's right. Even though he was later forced to defend it in the Federalist Papers in order to get the Constitution ratified. So, Professor, why did they create such a disrepresentative body? I mean, even then, a state like Virginia had roughly 12 times the population of Delaware, but they got the same number of seats in the Senate.
The short answer is, frankly, politics. The smaller states simply were not going to provide the needed votes to ratify the Constitution if they didn't get their way on this.
So then blackmail.
That's such an ugly word. Political scientists prefer the term compromise.
All right, Professor, all right. Let's bring this up to the present. How does this affect you and me today?
Tom, you rightly noted the disparity between Virginia and Delaware over 200 years ago. Time has only exacerbated the situation. An example close to home is our great state of Texas. Texas is, according to the 2010 census, underrepresented by a factor of over 44 as compared to Wyoming. Here's another way to look at it. The 25 million people of Texas are represented by 2 senators, while another 25 million Americans, the combined population of the 19 smallest states, are represented by 38 senators.
And this leads us, and other large states like California and New York, to receive less than our fair share of federal goodies, so to speak.
Some studies have shown that, absolutely.
Professor Rios, we also need to mention another area where Senate representation is problematic, and that is in electoral politics. This overrepresentation of small states also contributes to what many of us see as the undemocratic nature of the Electoral College. What's your take on this?
Tom, while we might not see eye to eye on the Electoral College, I understand your objection here. 100 of the 538 presidential electors represent those Senate seats, and therefore, perhaps unduly affect who becomes president.
I don't think there's any perhaps about it. The 2000 race is a salient example. Merely by removing those 100 electors, the popular vote winner, Al Gore, would have also won the electoral vote. And easily too, I might add.
The thing is, love it or hate it, the Senate probably isn't going anywhere. Article 5 prohibits any state being deprived of equal suffrage in the Senate without its consent. And there's not much chance of that happening.
I know. Well, this has been fascinating and we've only just touched the tip of the iceberg. I want to thank my guest, Professor Celeste Rios, and my wonderful audience. Good night, everybody. Peace out.